In the last video, we have seen the procedure to make the overhead cabin which are glazed, and we have also created a light box on the bottom. In this video, we will see an open box at the end. So in order to make the open box, we have to make some space to accommodate the open box first. So what I'll do is I'll move this particular face in the negative x-axis direction. You can look at the icon here in the negative x-axis direction through a distance of 30 units. So if you want to work with the face of a solid model which is already created, the command is a solid edit. So I'll give solid edit command, and a solid model can be edited in various sub-object levels. You can edit it on the face level or on the edge level or on the body level. So since in this case I would like to move this face, so I'll go to face level, and I can do a whole lot of operations, editing operations on the face, like I can extrude it, move it, rotate it, etc. So I would like to move this face, so I'll give M for move. So it'll ask you to select the face to be moved. I'll select this face and I'll give an enter. This is all I want. So it'll ask you for the base point, so I'll just pick a point on the screen, and I want to move it in the negative x-axis direction. So point the cursor in that direction and you can give distance, which is 30 units. So you have moved this through a distance of 30 units. Now I would like to make a polyline here which will act as a profile for the open box. So I'll draw a polyline here, and I want to move through a distance of 30 units, and I want to go straight in this direction. You know that that distance is 45 units, and you have to come back to this point, and you can just give a close, or else you can leave it there, no problem. Now I would like to create a chamfer over here, or a beveled edge over here. For that, you have to give a chamfer command, but in this case it's a single polyline. So when you give chamfer, both these corners will get chamfered. So you just better explode this. Now you can go for chamfer. So I'll give chamfer command, and I'll go to chamfer distance, and chamfer distance, I'm going to pick 2 points. From here to here I'll pick. So the distance between these 2 points will be taken as a chamfer distance, that is 15, and it'll ask you for a second chamfer distance here. Since my first and second chamfer distance are the same, you can just give an enter. Now it'll ask you for the first line to select. So I'll select this as a first line, and this is the second line. Now this edge got chamfered. Now I have to convert this into a single profile by p-editing it. I'll go to p-edit. So it'll ask you that the selected object is not a polyline, and do you want to convert it? I'll give yes, give an enter, and go to join option, and I'll give all, and just give close to complete the profile. Now you have closed it. Now you can see that it is a single profile. Now I'll go to extrude command, and I'll select this profile to be extruded, and I'll give a height of 2.5 units, which is the height of extrusion, and you have made the basic object which can simulate the open box. Now I would like to create a handrail for that, but before that, you can see that even this portion is to be chamfered, because this is previously it was straight, so you have a corner here, so you better that you chamfer this also. So I'll go to chamfer command, and I'll go to distance option. The previous chamfer distance will remain there as 15, so let me keep that same distance of 15, and I'll select the first line as this and second line as this. Even that got chamfered. Now I would like to create a handrail, a small railing which will act as a retaining element for this. So you can give that railing elements. You can just go for a revolution, and you can give a revolved object, or else you can just extrude simple circles to create cylindrical objects for railing. So here I'll select cylinder. I'll opt for cylinder. So I'll go to UCS command, and I'll move my UCS here. I'll UCS, and I'll keep my UCS over here on this base, and the X and Y I'm not going to change, so just give an enter. So I'll go to plan view to get a top view. I'll go to plan view to get that. Now you can see that you can see the profile of that open box here. So I'll create circles. I'll pick a point over here, and we'll give a small distance for the circle. You can either pick it or you can give a numeric value. So I'll give a small distance. Let it be say 1.5. So that seems to be a little higher, bigger. So I'll give half of that. Let it be say 0.75. Now I'll extrude this through a height of 5 units, which will act as a height of extrusion that is actually the height of extrusion for the cylinder. Now I'll just go to copy command and I'll go for multiple copies of the same element. So I'll go for multiple copies. You can give a fixed distance, or else you can simply pick points. If you are confident enough, you can simply pick points. You can get an approximate distance and you can get that. Okay, and I'll move this whole element slightly leftward. Okay, now the same element has to go in this direction also. So in order to get that, the ideal thing is to rotate the UCS about the Z axis through 45 degrees, so that your X will get aligned in this direction. So I'll go to UCS and I'll go to Z axis and I'll give an angle of 45 degrees. So UCS is rotated through an angle of 45 degrees. So X is aligned at 45 degrees. Now you can just give copy and I'll select this and I'll pick the base point here. You can keep on picking the second points till you get the required number of elements. So I'll pick multiple second points over here. I'll pick multiple second points. So you're running short of one element over here. So I'll pick that here and I'll complete it. And later on I can make some minor modifications to get that thing done. Okay, but the ideal thing is to going for array command, so that you can give a fixed distance. But if you want to give a perfect array, you have to calculate all this distance and all that, so which won't make much difference with what you have done now. So I'll go to UCS and I'll go to previous option to get the previous configuration of the UCS. Now I want to get multiple copies to be created in the vertical direction, so I'll go for copy command and I'll take a copy of this. So copy, and I'll select multiple copies here in the vertical direction. Okay, so I've got multiple copies here. So that is it, and I'll select again. I'll go back to a right front top view or a southeast isometric by clicking on this icon. Now you can see that you have made that railing, and you have to connect. You have to give a connection element over here. So I'll go to polyline. I'll start from this center, and I'll come back to this center, and again connect it with this center, and go back to this center. Okay, now you can give offset command, and I'll give an offset distance of 1.5 each to both sides. So this is object to be offset and side to offset, and object to offset and side to offset, and you can erase the central member, and you can connect these two endpoints. These endpoints can be connected. I'll just zoom in and I'll do it. You have to activate OSnap. Previously it was off. Now I've done this. Now even this endpoint is to be connected, and I'll go to P-edit, join all. Okay, now I'll extend these two lines slightly in this direction. That is, you have to extend it through 0.75 by grip editing, so that this edge will touch exactly with the surface. For that you have to do that minor editing. Similarly you have to do this here also. So I'll give 0.75. Just grip edit it. Now I'll extrude this whole thing, and I'll give a small height of say 1.5 centimeter. Okay, so you have done that. Now you can just go for multiple copies to get the same element. So I'll go for copy. I'll select the whole thing, even the base, and this is this mid can be selected as a base point, and this mid can be selected as a second point. Now on the top you don't need this railing, so you need only this element. So you just copy that and you keep it on the top. So you have made an open box here. Okay, now this is the right time to mirror this entire set of objects, but before that you can also create a crown, because the crown is to be made on top. So then after that you can go for mirroring. So I'll give a UCS, and in order to create the crown you have to first make a profile and extrude it along a path that you create. So the profile is to be made on on this plane, on this back plane. So I'll align the UCS there by going to UCS 3 point. I'll keep my origin here, X in this direction and Y in this direction, and I'll keep draw a polyline starting from here straight up. That is, let it be say 7.5 units straight up, and then again another 5 units in this direction, and I'll just go to arc option, second point, and I'll keep my second point here, then the end point here. Then you again come back to second point here, and end point, you complete this. Okay, then you come to line mode and close it. You have to come back to line mode and close it. So this is the profile to be extruded. Now I'll make the path along which it has to be extruded, but you know that the plane of the profile and the plane of the path should be mutually perpendicular. So the path is, before making the path, you have to align the UCS with the base. That is, UCS is taken to the world. That is the base, the floor level. Now I'll create the path here by picking points. So I pick points over here, and I'll extrude this, and this is the profile to be extruded. And just go to path option. You have a path option here, and just select L for last, because it is, you are referring to the last drawn path. Just type L and enter. So it has taken the path and it has extruded along that. And now you can mirror this, the whole thing, and with the base point at this midpoint. And the second point, when you're asked, you can just turn the ortho mode on, and you can just pick a point, because base and second point will define a vertical axis. So you have mirrored it. And you can just turn on the wall which you have frozen before, and you can just go for a shade, and you can see what you've done. You can also just orbit it, and you can go for a dynamic visualization. But you also need the same base cabins, the profile as well as the beveling of the base cabin to be mirrored in the opposite side. So you can do that also. So just go for mirror and select the whole profiles which you have made on this side, and just select the mid as the base point. And the second point, when you are asked to turn the ortho mode on, and just pick a second point, you have mirrored it. Now you have to create the beveling as well as profiles in this face, which is the same as creating this face. The same procedure can be repeated here. Okay, so you have made the base cabin as well as the overhead cabin. Now you have to make a small profile which can simulate the floor, and you have to extrude it. So I'll go to polyline command, and I'll create a layer before that. Let me just call that layer as floor. Then I'll give a different color. Let the color be a different one. Let it be this color, and I'll make that the current layer and just close it, and draw a polyline starting from here, and I'll pick endpoints here. Then you just close it. Now you can just make a region, because the region will let you create a surface out of a boundary, surface with 0 thickness. So that is made. You have made a region. The surface is created. Now you can just shade it, and you can see that you have made a profile. You have made a surface for the floor. Okay. So in the next video, we will see how to create the door as well as for the window, and later on we will switch over to the procedure to make a perspective view from this 3D model of the kitchen.